to make it this comparison, but it's like, an alcoholic, you're always working at it. You're always working, staying sober. You're always working at getting yourself on that plane and making it not horrible.
In many ways, the psychology is exactly like addiction, because everything from the one day at a time. You don't have to. Today you don't have to commit to flying forever. You just have to commit to getting on the airplane.
We get on this small plane and he takes his cell phone and he puts it over the steering wheel, and he punches in like we're going to the middle of nowhere, Africa, and he punches something in, and I'm like, those are the directions? He goes, yeah, it works for flying too. But okay, so 2 years passes, not much flying. Did okay on a couple local domestic flights, but my dear friend has wanted to do this trip forever, and we're going to Lima, Peru, to Machu Picchu.
Oh my God, I'm envious. I'm envious.
Into the Amazon. We have this amazing part of this excursion is literally meeting villagers in this remote part of the Amazon. Several internal flights, and then a flight from Quito, Ecuador, to the Galapagos Islands.
And the essence of what I've leaned more and more with people in coaching is the essence of overcoming your fear is the ability to reclaim your attention, and in order to do that, you have to come up with something that is so much more interesting to your attention than what the fear was.
Once the lizard brain takes over. So for me, it's always a matter of not letting it get to the point where the lizard brain is in charge.
That's precisely the secret. You have to intervene before it gets to that point, because once it takes over, it's biological.
Oh yeah, once it takes over, Captain Ron, I'm in the back of the plane in a panic with oxygen that they have administered to me on occasion.
I think the best thing you can do is go up and meet the pilots for your own regard, just to make a connection, and two, to remind them not to take today for granted. That may sound crazy, but that's what I found. The more and more I worked with fearful flyers, the more engaged I became with my customers all the time. The most difficult thing about aviation is because as the safer it gets, the more likely it is for one to become complacent.
Yes,
right?
Not complacent in terms of the task, but complacent in terms of what the rest of us in the back of the bus are feeling,
and the task as well. Right? You drive a car. If you get out and you go to the store, maybe only 3 miles away, how much will you remember of the actual operations and the movements that you go through in the car in that journey? Very little, because you've done it so many times and nothing has happened. Yeah. Now you can get set up for an unexpected occurrence for which you're not as vigilant as you would be if you were learning how to drive, for example. The same time I became aware of fearful flyers, I became aware of this new program the airline industry started in the early 80s called Human Factors. And the problems we were having is 2/3 of the times, even though it's the safest way to fly, it was then and it still is now, when we had accidents, 2/3 of the time it was human factors that caused them. The airplane was working.
I love it when pilots talk. I mean, not everybody does, but I certainly do. But, just let us know, even, that it's going to be turbulent, but it's not going to be so bad. And it's going to be 5 minutes and we're going to get through it. And we're finding a different route. Everything's fine.
So you make sure that one of the things you say to them is, by the way, I'm a little nervous about flying, and any information that you can pass on to us, I appreciate.
All right. So I will take these takeaways that the machinery that they're operating, first of all, is very safe, manufactured probably by, somewhere in this country, and they're trained to do it. Captain Ron would get on the plane too, and I will introduce myself, and the turbulence, no matter how turbulent the Pacific is from Ecuador to the Galapagos, we'll get through it.
And I want to close by saying, I so appreciate you. Not only for all you've given back to me, but for the courage that it took for you to even start this process for yourself.
Yeah,
that's why you're going to do well.